Alright everybody, as you can see, another update, another 80 dew point, or 80 degree dew point. Woo, yeah. And I've been working on this 20 to 30 minutes at a time, taking a long break, and as you can see, the roundovers still aren't done on the baffles. I did get I got all this grid screwed and glued, and of course, once you get everything tightened down, there's little things that I'm going to have to really see what's going on with it. I'm thinking kind of like the edges here that I have caulked in, I'm going to have to bump that down. And I have a little lever over here too that I'm going to use to help. But here we are with this, and I'm just before getting the router and going to do these small roundover, just a small roundover on this, and then I'm screwing this shit down and be done with it. I'm hoping I have enough silicone. I kind of think I do. It depends on, oh yeah, that's plenty. It really, honestly depends on if it's dried up or not. Because although it's been sitting under here, and up until now, we've had a relative mild winter and spring. Summer is here. I don't even know if is it officially summer? I don't even know. But anyway, I'm hoping that it's going to be enough of that. I really would prefer to use liquid nails, but at the same time I was kind of thinking it might be better for me to use this other type of silicone, because if we want to take these baffles off or have to take the baffles off for any reason, the liquid nails are just going to rip that wood to shit and back, whereas silicone will be more apt to pop loose. You know what I mean? It'll be more apt to peel than it would to rip. So I'm hoping that that bottle right there is good, because I only used it from a windshield, and it's one of those going white, dry clear type. And yeah, but we still have a lot of work to do on the Defiant, and this project needs to wrap up here today. Like, I need to have, I mean, except for the small details. Now he's going to have to I'll help him get it in, but he's going to have to get in here and help wire it and all this other stuff. But I am ready for today for this thing to be assembled. I'm changing plans on it because I got to looking at the calendar, and Scappin the Coast next week. We got a weekend, and then it's next weekend. And I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, I thought I had 2 weeks. And I'm thinking to myself, I have not done any of the upgrades. I have $300 worth of stuff that I've been accumulating all year long, pieces, parts, that I needed to add to my ride to make the electrical a little better, and add some speakers. And I wanted to redo my top on the inside, because I decided rather than go with the pillars, I don't even know if I posted that video, but I wanted to add speakers for rear field. And I believe this door's still open. Is this door open? It is. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about. Man, this is a hot mess up in here. I forgot to take this out. But up here, I want to take and redo that, I think, maybe possibly. Hell, I may not have time. Rather than put the speakers here, put them across here at some point. And that may not happen before Scappin the Coast. I may just do my electrical upgrades. Oh, I need its wire too. This is for his amps. I may just do my electrical upgrades and rock with it. Get my blower motor back put in there to move some air, because it's going to be hot as Hades this year. I can already tell it. And so on and so forth. I have to order car seats tonight. Car seat covers, I should say. Same ones that are in there. You've seen them probably just now. Because the driver's side is kind of ratty. And not just for the show, but because I've been meaning to. And I want to get a pop-up tent. And that way I can go out, park, have, just have our own display. And time permitting, things like the drums, I want to repaint, get the tires off. I want to jack her up and get those repainted. So much to do. I actually have drums in there. Brand new ones. I could sand those down and spray those, and then just swap over and put them on the car. It's an idea. But nevertheless, I need to get this tightened up. So right now I need to get this wire And I need to take this grid back out because nothing's screwed down right now. This is screwed together. It's done. It's, look, you see it's sealed, it's painted. I'm just doing a test fit. This is going to be like the final test fit before we leave this together. Get the roundovers done on these baffles, and then cut out the notches, the small notches for these wires to feed through down through here. And it doesn't have to be a gigantic one. I'm just going to cut like an inch across there, and that's going to be it there and there, and that's all it needs. Really, I don't even think the top needs it, but I'm going to do one anyway. All right, that way the amps are going to be in here, and I'm thinking we're going to go sideways with the amps. I'll show you that in just a minute. But just a small update of where we're at. And when I get these roundovers done and ready to screw back down, I'm going to cut you back on. Sprayway Customs, y'all check him out. YouTube channel. That dude is a legend when it comes to restoring vehicles. Stay tuned. Woo! Situation here. So, here's without a roundover. Here's with a roundover. So just a little subtle difference in it. And yeah, I gotta sand it. Still got tons of sanding to do on the baffles because I want it to be right. Got to sand these edges here, smooth them out. That's gonna be the next thing after I do these roundovers. That's why I waited, just waited until I did it. But I think that adds a little bit of smoothness to it, and once the Raptor hits it, that'll really accent it. Everything is nice and square. Ended up flush mounting these baffles. I'm not going to do the lip like I wanted to, and I know they're not exact. I just got them laid up here, but they're square. All right, because like this got to go up just a hair. Paint's making them to where it's just whatever. But yeah, I wanted to show you that before, after, and then we're going to sand them and be done with it. And I got to hurry up because, of course, afternoon thunderstorms. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, here we go. We got both of the baffles with the roundover, and I must say, small little things like that just add the finishing touches on a project that has been well long enough. So this is what they're going to look like together. See if I can get a nice shot. I'm thinking the GoPro sees all of it. We'll go in a little bit. Let's check out the baffles up close. Yep. So I'm satisfied with this, I think. And yeah, I believe this is going to do it. Small little thing like that. Any imperfections that you see will be covered up by the Raptor once we get that going. And I believe today I'm going to call it a day, because after doing that sanding, this shoulder here, I mean, it forevermore, you know how you get an isometric cramp to where it's just on its own, it's wanting to tense up. And I've been taking breaks, I've been drinking plenty of water, I don't have any Gatorades right now, or Powerades or whatever. So I'm going to take it easy, or bananas or anything else to get electrolytes and give it some potassium and all that. You know what I'm talking about. So before I go into full body cramps, I'm just going to call it a day. But I wanted to give an update here on where we're at. And yeah, I'm going to hold off on the rest of it because I don't have enough liquid nails or silicone to finish this job. And I don't want to glue this grid in place until I'm 100% satisfied that it's, first of all, where it needs to be. And secondly, that I can secure it so it's sealed up with no air leaks. And it'll give the rest of it time to gas off where I have sealed it. And so yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm going to cover it with a tarp because it looks like we have some weather coming. As you can see, summertime afternoon showers. So it's about time to wrap it up. It's almost 6 o'clock, probably after 6 o'clock at this point. And we'll go and grab a couple of tubes of liquid nails and a clear silicone, and I'm going to actually seal the baffles with a skim of silicone because I don't want it to, the liquid nails, to actually bond that wood like it will with everything else. Because in the future, if you ever want to take the baffles off, and it's just going to be a skim, it's just I might actually just use wood glue, and I should be using wood glue to put it together. Um, but I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on the some of the parts, so that's why I like using liquid nails. But I don't want to use something that's actually going to rip the wood so much as I do just to keep the air from leaking, because I'm going to get all the edges and everything. And who knows, I may change my mind and use wood glue anyway, because I actually right now I totally forgot that I have that bottle right there that I can pour some of my half gallon into, because I got about a half a gallon left of wood glue, and I could actually do that, but I don't want the wood to rip in case we have to take the baffles off in the future. Hell, you never know. He might want to go with a couple of, you know, something else. Might want to change it up. And I just want to make it to where to be simple, take everything out, use this same box for something else, because you could easily turn this into a fourth order build. You know, real easy. And I showed him a concept picture, which I may drop in here if I could find it. If you see it, it'll be right now. And if you don't, then I just pause for nothing. All right. But anyway, I think we have a pretty good day turnout. We got everything sanded down, got the baffles 99%. Got our grid screwed and glued. I got my spray paint that I wanted to do. The only things I didn't do were cut out the notches here and cut out the notch there for the wire. But I just want to make sure I brought this cable out, this 4 gauge, because his amps that he's going to be using right now only need 4 gauge. So we're going to go with that. And I'll probably need a little bit more of this, but this will get us going, because it's only the amps are going to be here and the battery's going to be here, so we don't need long runs. Okay, and then the battery is actually on a 1 gauge going to the front to the alternator. So yeah, I think we'll be fine with that much, because we're going to keep these short runs. I got the lugs, shrink wrap, etc., so forth, all in there ready to go. Speaker terminals, we're just going to put one here someplace, and or, you know, if I can't find a hole cutter, which I used to have a whole set of hole cutters. I don't know what the heck happened to them. I can't find them anywhere. We might just do our drill the hole and push the speaker wire through, because it's going to just be one set of wire. Push the wire through, put some silicone on it, and call it a day. You know, do the whole tape it up with gaff tape trick, pull it back in the hole, silicone on the inside of it, and call it a day. I don't know. I want it to be clean, though. I want it to be versatile. So I kind of want to do the terminals. We'll see, since I already went ahead and bought them anyway and put them on here. It's just, I'm ready to get this done. So I'm trying to think of, and I'm one not to cut corners on projects like this. That's what it takes. That's what takes so long. That's why mine's not even halfway done yet. All right, and money. If I could just throw money at it, it would have been done. Trust me, I would have, hey man, you want to make $1? Here's that. Come and help me. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at. Finishing touches. So now it's time to get everything ready to wire up. Oh yeah. And I'm definitely going to do that here. I'm just going to drill a hole down here large enough for the 8 gauge to go through. And it really doesn't need 8 gauge, because these are LCS subs that we're starting off with. I could just use, I do have some 12 gauge OFC in here that I'm probably going to end up using that just to wire the subs, and then we'll go 8 gauge to the amps. Yeah, that's probably what we're going to end up doing. But I'll definitely just drill a hole 8 gauge, sort of 8 gauge to fit through from one sub to the other, and that sub into here, and it's going to go to an amp. And I still have to go get the amp just to see. So let me go grab that, and I might actually splice that in. I don't know, but we got to get the amp a test fit on him anyway at some point. So yeah, let me go grab those. I'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, check this out. I want y'all to look at something. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's the SFB 600, and that is a JP23. Wow. That is quite a difference. Yep. Quite a difference in size. Man, look at that. You look at this, and then all that. Wow. That just seems like... But we did watch Derek do, like, what was it, a 160, was it? On his 218s, like, pile driving this thing into the dirt. But yeah, there you go. Stay tuned. All right, so now that I'm actually looking at, when I looked at it before, I was like, that's a small lamp. But now I'm looking at this box, And I'm looking at this amp, and I'm looking at this box. That's a small ass amp. But how are we gonna mount them? Because I don't want to go straight back. I mean, I guess we could do this all the way to the back and then put lights around it. That's an option, I guess. I actually, one reason why I had tried to get in contact with James is because he's got a miter saw that would make this so much simpler. Is that I would love to do this. Can you see that? I would love to cut a piece of wood to go in here and angle it and put them in like this. But I don't think that's going to happen. So I believe what's going to end up happening is we're going to mount them side by side, which doesn't matter. So this one want to be here and want to be there. They will fit side by side. As you can see, that's plenty of room. And then, yeah, kind of centered up like this. And people's going to be like, bro, where's your amp? And he's going to go, that is the amp. But I mean, there's two of them. There's not just one. But I believe it's just going to end up being just like this. I'm just going to center them up best I can. And, yeah, put one here and one there. I didn't bring both of them out. I was going to bring the amps and the subs and all that. But I mean, I'm steadily pouring sweat. This dew point is ridiculous. But you get the idea off the one. There'll be one here. There's one there. It'll be a very short run, which is kind of why I'm thinking the way this is now that I have this amp sitting in here, and if we're going to run it like that, I'm honestly leaning towards just drilling a hole and putting the wire through. Because that, I mean, now in the future, of course, if he were to step up to a larger amp, or maybe save up and get him another crescendo, because that's what he needs. And that crescendo belongs to me, but I told him he could use it. So, well, we kind of made a trade. I wanted the... What the hell am I even talking about? Shoot. Never mind. I don't want to get into that. I digress. Anyway, if he gets another crescendo, that 1500, which is the version 2, some monoblock. You all know, I've done a review on it. Anyway, if he gets another one of those, that's actually what he needs to run this setup. And if he did that, he'd be golden. And it's only $300. So, Klarna that. Alright? Instead of some other stuff. But these are getting going. And I'm curious to see how they will actually drive these. Because technically they're 300 watt RMS. But we all know Sundown way underrates their stuff. And the LCS, as I like to call them, the SA lights, which is, you know, I know the motors on them, you know, none of them's comparison. Because when they step up from one class to another, they step up from one class to another. Yeah. Man, it's getting darker. I gotta hurry up. But, yeah. There we go. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Because now that I'm looking at this, I think that would be the best course of action. Just drill a hole straight across right here, large enough for 8 gauge. Gaff tape it and seal it with some silicone. But put it high enough, put it like right at the top of those to where if we did want to add the terminal in the future, it can be added with ease. And it'll give the drill enough room to get in there for the terminal circle. Because they're only about yay. I don't know how big it is. I got to go get the cutout for it. I'll do all that off camera. But yeah, I believe that's what we're going to do. Now that I actually have the amp out here looking at it. Yeah. And then the positive negative comes straight down here to the battery. And that's the short run. So I got plenty of wire. I was actually wondering if I had enough wire. But yeah, that's plenty. And that way, I mean, we could even do it lower like this, but I want it to be to where we can actually screw it and unscrew it easily. So we'll get it centered up and figured out. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we'll cut out a notch here for the wire. Hell, I might just do the same thing there and just take the grid out and cut me a very shallow centerpiece right here, long and narrow. Because nothing actually is going to go in here, and even if you did in the future, if it was wired up right, like say he wanted to add more speakers and do another baffle and do 612s, you have that option. Actually, it'd be a little bit too much airspace, but we could fill it with batten, you know, take up airspace with other stuff. Yeah, get another angle here. Let me put it actually in the light. Put it on the light side. What the hell am I doing? So it would actually be, is that speaker terminals? Okay, speaker terminals, be right about, I say put it right about there. Yeah. Yeah, put them side by side just like that. Run our power down, power negative. How are we gonna do the remote? So, see, now it's detail time. I gotta, let's see, we could tie the remotes together actually, because they'll be across from one another, and then drill a small pilot hole on, like right next to the amp, going straight down after we mark out where we actually want the amps. Yeah, and we'll drill a hole through there large enough for the remote to go out of the back of the box. That's what's going to happen, boys. And then we'll tape it to the back of the box, or however. You know what I'm talking about. Wire harnesses. That screw. I don't even know if that's... Yeah. We'll put some 8-gauge wire. Now I'm rambling. It's Crafted in Mind. Stay tuned. Or, if this is the end of the video, go out there and have some fun. Woo!